This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1476. The Keys to Getting Ahead Financially. It Gets Easier by Philip Taylor of ptmoney.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is a show where I narrate posts from thought leaders in personal finance every single day of the year in 10 minutes or less. And before we get to it, have you subscribed to our other podcasts? We cover personal development and minimalism, health, relationships, entrepreneurship, and life advice on the other shows. Just search for Optimal Living Daily wherever you get your podcasts to find them. And with that, let's get right to today's post and start optimizing your life. The Keys to Getting Ahead Financially. It Gets Easier by Philip Taylor of ptmoney.com. Does this money thing get any easier? It does. Look, we're all in different stages. There are plenty of us who are just getting started or who are in the middle of our own journey with mastering money. I'm here to tell you that getting ahead financially takes time, even for a well-educated, financially nerdy, entrepreneur-oriented guy like me. It took me until my late 20s before I could fully wrap my head around and act upon some of the core concepts of personal finance. I'm still learning new things and setting new goals. It really is a process. So, how do you get ahead? Well, let's first define what that means. What is getting ahead? Obviously, we're each going to have our own definition of what it means to get ahead financially. To use a cliche, personal finance is personal, but generally, I think getting ahead comes down to a few things. An awareness of where you are and where you want to be. That is, establishing some type of goal. Seeing progress towards those goals. This could be reducing your credit card debt, increasing your emergency savings, setting up life insurance, or any number of things. Having the ability to fast forward that progress, either through wise spending, increased income, or both. Developing a confidence in your ability to maintain your progress and probably more importantly, not end up back where you started. That's really it. It's less about a number. Who cares how much actual debt you have? There's someone with more debt and there's someone with less debt who's mismanaging their money. Who cares how much net worth you have compared to your peers? Your net worth is growing by huge percentage points. Proper money management is not a race against others. It's a marathon and you're mostly competing against yourself. What do you think it means to get ahead? The keys to getting ahead financially. There are a few less tactical things that I believe have helped me on my own journey. Number 1, learning to be satisfied. To get ahead, you need to at some point be satisfied with the things you have. If you're constantly unsatisfied with your life and you use new things to help you feel temporarily satisfied, then you're doing it wrong. Don't get me wrong, this isn't about doing without or settling. I'm as capitalist as they come. Get as much as you want and get it today. But it's much more important for me to be able to get as much as I want than to actually get it. Besides, stuff just costs you more money because you end up having to take care of it, which costs time and expense. If you're not careful, the stuff you own will end up owning you. Look for satisfaction through the free things that life offers: relationships, experiences, effort, and growth. Number 2, seeking out value. To get ahead, you need to seek out value. This is twofold. First, you need to understand what you personally value. Once you zero in on that, you won't waste money on things you don't value. Second, you need to understand what has inherent long-term value. This is where you should be placing most of your money and things that last and appreciate. If you understand what you truly value and what is valuable, then you'll be able to get ahead. Number 3, being conscious of opportunity. To get ahead, you need to be conscious of new opportunities. There are new opportunities every day to make more, save more, and spend more wisely. Are you training your brain to spot them? It doesn't take much to train your brain. You know how when you buy a new car or even a new shirt, you start seeing that same car or shirt everywhere? It's like it was always there, but you somehow missed it. This is a real thing. It's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Quote, Bader-Meinhof is the phenomenon where one happens upon some obscure piece of information, often an unfamiliar word or name, and soon afterwards encounters the same subject again, often repeatedly. End quote. Money, getting it and optimizing it works the same way. Once you discover a few little opportunities to get ahead with your money and experience them for yourself, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Number 4, having a system but keeping an open mind. To get ahead financially, you need a few systems in place. Automatic savings, a spending or debt reduction plan, a few tax-advantaged accounts, etc. Financial systems and automation are important, almost critical in some ways, but don't marry yourself to one way of thinking. Be open to different solutions. Like with opportunity, you need to be constantly seeking out fresh strategies and different ways of thinking about your money. Our lives change through the years and technology advances every day, so you should be on the lookout for new ways of doing things. Number 5, accept that there's no end. Finally, to get ahead, you need to accept that there's no true end when it comes to fixing your finances. There's no ultimate financial promised land. You're always going to have to deal with something money related, even down to how you pay for your funeral. And really, you should always be making the most of what you have, which takes continued effort and education. I don't know where you are on your path to improved finances, but from where I stand today, I can tell you that it does get easier. Keep at it. You just listened to the post titled The Keys to Getting Ahead Financially. It Gets Easier by Philip Taylor of ptmoney.com. One of the more recent things I've learned about money is that it's only as valuable as your clarity on how you will use it and your comfort level with how much is enough. This is going to look different for each person, but this to me demonstrates how getting ahead financially is as much about how you feel about your money as it is about how much money you have. And I couldn't agree more when it comes to comparison. It's the thief of joy. It's also a waste of time because it depletes your energy when you compare yourself to others, and you need that energy to improve your finances. I do think that money management gets easier over time, but it's also constantly evolving, so we're never really done. This is because our circumstances can change, but also because our values and goals shift and change over time, and the way we manage our money is always a reflection of what we value. So for instance, I made many of my decisions over the last few years to strive for financial independence by the time I reached 40. But my original plan needed to be revised for me to now experiment with self-employment and entrepreneurship. Furthermore, I'm moving towards combining households with my Midwestern gentleman, which will certainly lead to more adjustments as I'll be focused on our goals versus just my goals. Getting ahead financially for me has resulted in the financial bandwidth to allow for this kind of flexibility, and it's been well worth that initial effort. That'll do it for today in another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a happy Thursday. Thank you for being here every day and listening, and I'll see you on the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.